This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 6th day of November in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Describing Venezuela as a tyrant and the only country threatening the peace of the region, Minister of Foreign Affairs Hugh Todd opened the extraordinary sitting of the National Assembly on the border issue this morning by asserting the validity of the 1899 arbitral award, which established the boundary between Guyana and Venezuela. Minister Todd said Guyana continues to stand on principles and the right side of the law, while Venezuela continues to threaten the peace of the region.
This is a zone of peace, Mr. Speaker. This is an era of peace and stability. Venezuela has to stop. Venezuela has to recognize that we need to move forward in moving this region as one, as a zone of peace. And Venezuela is the only country in this region, Mr. Speaker, who is threatening that peace. And that must not happen, not now, not never, or not ever.
The extraordinary sitting was attended by members of the diplomatic community, along with the top brass of the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force and the other joint services. The extraordinary sitting of the Guyana National Assembly follows the buildup of Venezuelan military troops in areas close to the Guyana border, and the country's planned referendum which it wants to use to bolster its claim of Guyana's Essequibo region. The Minister of Foreign Affairs told the Assembly that greed is leading Venezuela's claims. He said Venezuela's political leadership is devoid of any commitment to treaties and the respect for territorial integrity. Mr. Todd said while international law stipulates that agreed or established boundaries are sacrosanct and permanent, Venezuela has continued on a path that is in direct confrontation with the fundamental principles.
The boundary between Guyana and Venezuela was established by the arbitral award of the 3rd of October 1899. The arbitral award that was impaneled pursuant to the Treaty of Washington on the 2nd of February 1897, consisting of prominent jurists from the United Kingdom, the United States Supreme Court, and Russia, unanimously agreed on the present-day land boundary between Guyana and Venezuela, consistent with the old-aged principle regarding the sanctity of boundaries. Article 13 of the Treaty of Washington obligated the parties to, and I quote, consider the result of the proceeds of the Tribunal of Arbitration as a full, perfect, and final settlement of all questions referred to the arbitrators, end of quote.
It was noted that for 63 years, Venezuela accepted the award of 1899 as a full, perfect, and final settlement, including by the act of ratification of the award within its Congress.
Mr. Speaker, Venezuela attained 751,640 square kilometers from that award. In square miles, that's 358,841 square miles. That's more than 4 times the size of Guyana. That is what they got in the award. Guyana got 83,000 square miles, or equivalent to 214,969 square kilometers. Mr. Speaker, the facts are here. Venezuela was content with what they wanted because they felt that if they got the Orinoco, it was satisfactory to them. It was a victory. They got all that they had bargained for. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, in contemporary political economy, it is unbelievable and inconceivable that Venezuela would want to try to fool the rest of the world that it has legitimate right to Guyana's territory. This will not stand.
Todd said notwithstanding its attempts to nullify the award, Venezuela has been unable to justify its claims or show proof that the award was invalid.
Guyana has consistently requested successive governments of Venezuela to do three things, Mr. Speaker. Three things. One, prove the basis of the contention that the award of 1899 is null and void. Two, identify any provision in the Geneva Agreement that states that Guyana is precluded from developing the Essequibo. And three, identify the article in that agreement that states that the arbitral award of 1899 is superseded by the Geneva Agreement. Mr. Speaker, Venezuela has never been able to do so, and they will never be able to do so because they are on the wrong side of history.
The foreign minister said from the establishment of the Geneva Agreement in 1966 to the good offices process from 1990 to 2017, Guyana has been more than patient with Venezuela, notwithstanding its increasing acts of aggression against Guyana. With the matter now before the International Court of Justice, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said Guyana intends to see the case through to its logical conclusion, despite the threats from Venezuela. More news coming up in just a moment.
Oh my lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
It's your time to win big! The Massey Store's Christmas jackpot promotion is back and bigger than before. Spend $5,000 at any Massey Stores to be the lucky winner of a brand new MGZS and fantastic weekly store prizes from now until January 31st, 2024. What are you waiting for? Head to your nearest Massey Stores to shop now. See our Facebook and Instagram pages for more details. Massey Stores, our family serving your family.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Opposition spokesperson on Foreign Affairs and Member of Parliament Amanda Walton Desir has proposed that the government and the opposition work on introducing legislation to the National Assembly that would regulate the influx of Venezuelan migrants in the country. Contributing to the debate today at the extraordinary sitting of the National Assembly to affirm Guyana's Essequibo region, MP Walton Desir said there is an active inflow of persons from Venezuela, as well as persons returning from Venezuela who are entitled to Guyanese citizenship. She noted that while they are covered under laws and conventions, Guyana must propose legislation that sets out clearly how it deals with the issue. The opposition MP said it is necessary, since Venezuelans are taught from an early age that Essequibo is part of their country, and as a result, Guyana cannot operate as if it is business as usual, stating that the threats the country is facing are extraordinary.
And Mr. Speaker, we owe it to our people. We owe it to our people to have a very clear legal framework. A framework that does not extend to fiat or rule by fiat, but that is clearly deliberated in this House so that people who come to our nation will know exactly where they stand and how they stand and what is their path to citizenship, if any, Mr. Speaker. I repeat, our first duty is to the people of Guyana, and we must be unapologetic in the prosecution of that duty.
While noting that the Venezuelan migrants ought to be treated as guests and not threats, the opposition MP also made it clear that the guests must respect the rules and the regulations of the country. She said now is the time to have tough conversations on residency and citizenship of those coming across from Venezuela, since the influx of migrants here not only poses a security threat, but the situation also has the potential to collapse the country's healthcare and other social systems.
We must consider whether, given the fact of this territorial claim, given the fact of this belief that Essequibo belongs to them, whether we must not enshrine in our laws provisions that speak to persons being, and particularly migrants, and particularly people who are coming in from the neighboring western neighbor, that we would say whether there is merit in considering laws that make it clear that participation in inappropriate political activities that amount to insurrection, treason, or promoting cessation or annexation will be met firmly by prosecution, deportation, and possibly a ban on residencies.
MP Walton Desir said the opposition stands firm with the government on the border issue and the defense of Guyana's territorial integrity. Guyana's Minister of Governance, Gail Teixeira, today said the current threats coming from Caracas is the worst that the country has ever seen. During her parliamentary contribution, Minister Teixeira said Venezuela continues to advance its claim with increasing menace in total disregard of the impact of its claim on Guyana and the wider region.
In recent times, more so than I think ever before, because I'm probably one of the older members of this House, that the aggressive language, the insulting, offensive language, and the threat to us by Venezuela at this time is probably worse than it's ever been in the history of this issue.
The government minister said while the threat from Venezuela must be taken seriously, Guyanese must not lose sight on the position of togetherness taken by the government and the opposition. This position, she said, must be celebrated.
So this point here today is one that we must cherish always. It's priceless. Not many countries have the government and opposition coming together on one issue. We mustn't take it for granted. Of course, it's highly possible that tomorrow we will have a sitting maybe at some point and the claws will be out, the daggers will be out, of course, not literally, of course, to make score points with each other. But that's realpolitik, that's politics. But today is the day. Today is the day for us as politicians, as Guyanese, to stand united. We must recognize too that we have faced many challenges. And yet, ironically, Mr. Maduro maybe does not recognize the many efforts between various leaders of Venezuela and Guyana.
An opposition member of parliament, Kemaraj Ramjatan, also said that political leaders in Venezuela have historically and even today used the border controversy to drum up support for political continuity. He said Venezuela's claims must be rejected by all.
And if we do not recognize what might be the motivations of Maduro and his team, inclusive of Delcy Rodriguez, Honorable Vice President she is, I think, making statements about referendum and all of that means, in my opinion, that there is now a deliberate attempt to transfer their irrationality onto their countrymen. for purposes of ensuring that probably they can be distracted from all the problems they have in Venezuela.
Mr. Ramjatan said Guyana suffered greatly over the past years due to Venezuela's approach and must take all steps now to ensure that it takes full advantage of the vast economic prospects that the Essequibo region offers.
We are very, very clear and united on this issue. We must ensure that this bonanza that is Essequibo, that is ours, be exploited, and we must not have confrontation from our Western neighbors to any extent. We must see also the flourishing of Guyana, because the space must be allowed without any intervention from any dominant big player called Venezuela.
Mr. Ramjatan, who is the leader of the Alliance for Change and the former Minister of Public Security under the APNU-AFC administration, said all Guyanese must be united on the border controversy. He said there is the need for more education on the issue for Guyanese citizens.
It's back again! The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Make My Wish Come Through Christmas promotion is here. What are you wishing for this Christmas? It's another exciting Christmas promotion designed with you, our members, in mind. This Christmas, you can win big household appliances ranging from a fridge, washing machine, gas cooker, dining table, television sets, and much, much more. Here's how you can be a part of our Christmas promotion. You must be a member of the credit union in good standing. You must have an existing loan or must have taken your first loan with the credit union. You must fill out a coupon with your information clearly marked. Coupons for this promotion can be uplifted from our head office at Lot 45 Hatfield Street, Georgetown, or from any one of our regional representatives countrywide. Promotion runs from October 30th to December 15, 2023. What are you wishing for this Christmas? GPSCCU, people helping people.
Come on now, ping pong chairs, choo-choos, amazing, taste so good.
Yeah.
Feed your cravings, chocolate rich. You'll be craving more and more and more and more. Here comes the craze. Ping pong chairs and choo-choos. Feed your cravings, you know you want to. Here comes the craze.
It's bite-sized cheer.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves, and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
I am Avinash Narain.
First met Avinash through one of my friends, and it was an instant meeting between two souls.
Crystal is a genuine person. She loves fashion.
He's one of those souls that once you meet him, it's hard not to love him.
My grandmother, my mother, and her eldest sister, they were seamstresses. And I guess that's where my inspiration came from. It was very hard for me coming out to my family. Back then, being gay wasn't accepted. There is still a lot of stigma and discrimination attached to us. But at the end of the day, I'm human just like you are.
It's important for me to be an ally on such an important topic because he's my friend. He's also a human being and everybody needs support.
Guyana's agent before the International Court of Justice on the Venezuelan issue, Carl Greenidge, today said Guyana stands ready to defend its request to the ICJ to bar Venezuela from including any question in its planned referendum that infringes on Guyana's territorial integrity. Greenidge, a former vice president and minister of foreign affairs, while speaking to reporters on the sidelines of the extraordinary sitting of Guyana's National Assembly today, said while Guyana does not intend to have the referendum blocked in its entirety, the provisional measures being sought at the level of the ICJ deal specifically with 3 of the 5 questions that were published by the government of Venezuela. Using the referendum, Venezuela is attempting to annex Guyana's Essequibo region, notwithstanding that the case is before the International Court.
In the first instance, you are calling upon the public to make a determination about the International Court of Justice. Venezuela is a member of that court. It has obligations to uphold the processes and decisions of the court. The question is contrary to those obligations. You have a suggestion that the public should pronounce on what Venezuela does in relation to Guyanese citizens and what Venezuela does in relation to territory which it has never governed. It isn't as though Essequibo, even in 1899, was part of some unnamed space and then handed over to Guyana. It had always been part of Guyana.
Mr. Greenidge said the historical records would show that Venezuela for more than 6 decades had affirmed its boundaries with Guyana as outlined in the 1899 arbitral award. The Spanish-speaking country, he said, cannot now unilaterally alter the border that it shares with Guyana.
The borders have been agreed by a variety of bodies and states, and it is the obligation of any state to honor it. If they would like it changed, then there is a process, and that process is not a unilateral process. That is the issue. That's what's before the court. The court is being asked not so much to stop them having a referendum, but to ensure that they know and to ensure that the referendum doesn't have provisions which give the Venezuelan public the mistaken belief that they have the right to decide on other citizens' fate, citizens outside of the borders of Venezuela, in defiance of world opinion, in defiance of world practice, and in defiance of the obligations that Venezuela has as a signatory to agreements that still exist.
According to Greenidge, the referendum is just one act of threat and aggression towards Guyana, as he alluded to the build-up of Venezuelan military troops near Guyana's borders. The International Court of Justice has set the 14th of November date for public hearings in the Guyana versus Venezuela case, but to deal specifically with a request from Guyana for provisional measures intended to safeguard Guyana's territorial integrity. Mr. Greenidge said should Venezuela further defy the orders of the court, then it would be up to the ICJ to decide how best it can uphold the rule of law in the face of such defiance. Well, representative of the 3-party joined their list and Deputy Speaker Dr. Ashley Kissoon today condemned the continued contemptuous claims by Venezuela of Guyana's Essequibo region. Lending her voice to the extraordinary sitting of the National Assembly, Dr. Kissoon condemned the planned referendum in Venezuela.
For the thousands of people at home, what Venezuela is saying to us, to our nation, is they have no regard for what the International Court of Justice says. That they have intention of making our Guyanese citizens Venezuelans in order to take the territory from us. We condemn this referendum and we will not be having it.
She also told the House that Guyana has been a peaceful nation, even though Venezuela has been engaged in acts of provocation, adding that Venezuela's posture at Guyana's borders and the rhetoric being peddled in the country is unsettling.
Mr. Speaker, while we all agree that this is contemptuous of the legal process prevailing before the International Court of Justice, allow me to express my open and honest displeasure at the disrespect shown by the Republic of Venezuela for Guyana and its territorial integrity.
The opposition MP said Guyana must continue to demonstrate that the legal process currently ongoing before the International Court is its weapon, and it must not fall into Venezuela's trap. According to Dr. Kissoon, unity among Guyanese at this time is paramount. She heaped praise on the government and her fellow opposition members for putting their differences aside as they all stand united on the border controversy. The Reed and Hoop shore-based company saw the docking and offloading of the first commercial vessel at its shore-based facility at the newly constructed man-made island. The docking of the vessel was also celebrated as it was registered as the longest vessel at over 190 meters to ever enter the Demerara River channel. Additionally, with a cargo of over 26,900 metric tons, it was also one of the largest payloads to ever be offloaded. A statement from the company said the docking and offloading of the vessel marked a major milestone for the 44-acre facility, which will primarily serve as a shore base for the ExxonMobil company. According to one of the directors of the shore-based facility, Nicholas Degu, the company is very proud of its milestone, as it takes an inches closer to becoming fully operational. Reed and Hoop Shore-Based Incorporated is a joint venture between NRG Holdings Incorporated, which is a 100% Guyanese-owned consortium that is the majority shareholder, and the Jan de Nul Company, a Belgium international maritime infrastructure company.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? You know, I just pay my bills using MMG, you know?
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait, I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man, you didn't know that? Yes, all self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley's identification card number, his driver's permit number, and his passport number have been found to be compromised in TSTT's data breach. The Excel document also has his birth date and a PO box address for him as Prime Minister, according to Trinidad Guardian. Guardian Media obtained a copy of the 6 gigabyte of data from TSTT, which was uploaded to the dark web following a cyber attack on the company on October 9, and was able to verify it. The data bundle includes scans, a list of names and credentials. Rowley was asked to comment and was sent a copy of the information, which Guardian Media was able to source and verify, but up to late yesterday, did not respond. The Prime Minister is one of hundreds of customers whose data has been posted online following a data breach at a telecommunications company. As of yesterday, the data, which contains 1.2 million names, has been downloaded over 13,000 times from the dark web. The data has names, home addresses, email addresses, cell phone numbers, birth certificates, passport numbers, identification cards, receipts, internal emails, as well as credentials. The Bahamas is reporting that its visitor arrival figures are now at levels not seen since 2019. According to data presented by the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Air and Sea arrivals from January to September 2023 numbered 7,209,165. Data showed 1,332,752 travelers visited the Bahamas by air, and 5,876,413 arrived by sea, which is 33% more than 2019. The Bahamas is on track to welcome more than 8 million visitors this year, according to the ministry. The ministry said foreign air arrivals, which include stopovers and day visitors, are up 21% over the same period in 2022, and stopover visitors through September are just shy of the total number of stopover visitors for the same period of 2019. Cruise arrivals from the beginning of the year through September are up 61% over the corresponding period in 2022 and 45% ahead of 2019. And finally tonight, international news. Donald Trump has finished testifying in a New York court as he battles a civil fraud trial that threatens his real estate empire. According to the BBC, he repeatedly clashed with the judge who asked Trump's lawyer to control his client during a series of heated exchanges. The former president is accused of massively inflating the value of properties by over $2 billion in order to secure favorable loans. Losing the trial could result in a $250 million fine, a ban on Trump doing business in his home state, and losing control of iconic properties like Trump Tower. The judge has already ruled that Trump significantly inflated the value of his properties. Trump and his adult sons have denied accusations they falsified business records and committed insurance fraud, among other claims. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.